Hello everyone and welcome to Simple Spec Games. Today we are going to see the top 15 indie and pixel art games with the shoot 'em up genre. First, we got Valfaris Mecha Therion. It's an explosive 2.5D side-scrolling shoot 'em up game that serves as a sequel to the critically acclaimed Valfaris. In this game, players take on the role of Therion, who pilots an advanced mecha to continue the hunt for Lord Vroll. The gameplay is intense and action-packed, featuring a variety of weapons and abilities that players can use to decimate their enemies. The game is set in a visually stunning, heavy metal-inspired world, with intricate level designs that challenge players to navigate through hordes of enemies and environmental hazards. Players must master the art of dodging, shooting, and using special attacks to survive the relentless onslaught of enemies. Juicy Realm is a vibrant and quirky roguelike twin-stick shooter where players face off against bizarre anthropomorphic fruits. The game is set in a world where plants have evolved to stand atop the food chain, and humanity must fight to reclaim its position. Players explore procedurally generated levels, collecting new gear, weapons, and resources to enhance their abilities. The game features a variety of unique characters, each with their own special skills and play styles. The gameplay of Juicy Realm is fast-paced and action-packed, with players needing to dodge, shoot, and strategize to survive the onslaught of fruit enemies. The game supports both single-player and co-op modes. Not a Hero is a fast-paced, cover-based shooter game where players take on the role of various characters working for Bunnylord, an anthropomorphic rabbit running for mayor. The gameplay involves completing missions to clean up the city by eliminating criminals and gaining public support for Bunnylord's campaign. Each character has unique abilities and weapons, adding variety and strategy to the gameplay. Players must navigate through levels, taking out enemies while avoiding gunfire by sliding into cover. The game also includes a variety of mission objectives, such as rescuing hostages, defusing bombs, and assassinating key targets. Blazing Chrome is a thrilling run-and-gun action game that pays homage to classic titles like Contra and Metal Slug. Players take on the roles of Mavra and Doyle, two resistance fighters battling against a robotic army that has taken over the world. The gameplay is fast-paced and intense, featuring a variety of weapons and power-ups that players can use to blast their way through waves of enemies. Players must master precise jumping, shooting, and dodging to survive the relentless onslaught of enemies. The game supports both single-player and local co-op modes, allowing players to team up with a friend to take on the robotic menace together. The Hong Kong Massacre is a top-down shooter game inspired by classic action movies like John Woo's films. Players take on the role of a former police detective seeking revenge for his partner's murder. The gameplay is fast-paced and intense, featuring a mix of gunfights and slow-motion mechanics that allow players to dodge bullets and take out enemies with precision. The game is set in the gritty streets of Hong Kong, with beautifully designed levels that capture the essence of the city's underworld. Players must carefully plan their moves, using cover and timing their shots to survive the relentless onslaught of enemies. Twilight Survivors is a time-limited survival game infused with roguelite elements and an adorable art style. The game is set in a world plunged into darkness, where players are the sole beacon of hope. The objective is to endure until dawn while facing repeated deaths and collecting coins to arm oneself. The game features characters and monsters in full 3D, with stunning effects and diverse terrains such as plains, snowy mountains, and deserts. The gameplay of Twilight Survivors is characterized by its challenging survival mechanics and strategic use of weapons and skills. Players can unlock and combine over 20 super weapons, each with unique abilities. Castle of Alchemists is a fast-paced tower defense and action hybrid game where players take on the role of Bellator, an alchemically enhanced warrior. The objective is to defend your castle from relentless invaders by setting traps, building towers, and crafting powerful weapons. Players must strategically place their defenses and use Bellator skills to fend off waves of enemies and protect their home. Players can craft a diverse selection of weapons and items, set intricate traps, and build various towers to create a formidable defense. The game also includes special boss battle arenas and multiple game modes.
There's a war going on there, right?
Guns, Gore and Cannoli 2 is a thrilling action platformer that continues the story of Vinnie Cannoli from the first game. Set in the 1940s, the game takes players through war-torn Europe as Vinnie seeks to uncover the truth behind the Thugtown Massacre. The gameplay is fast-paced and packed with humor, featuring a variety of weapons and abilities that players can use to take down enemies. The game also includes rich, immersive environments and smooth animations that bring the chaotic world to life. Players can perform 360-degree aiming, double jumping, dodge rolls, and more to navigate through levels and defeat enemies. Kill the Crows is a fast-paced top-down arena shooter set in a twisted Western world. Players step into the shoes of a vengeful gunslinger who enters the ruins of a forsaken town, ready to face death. The gameplay revolves around one-shot, one-kill gunfights using classic revolvers and fanning techniques. Players must use their weapons and the environment to take down as many foes as possible, with a special ability called Showdown that allows for strategic bullet management. Players must maintain the flow of battle by carefully planning their shots and using the Showdown ability to refill their bullets. The game includes a total of 12 types of cultist enemies, including a boss, each with unique abilities and strategies. Cruel is a fast-paced run-and-gun horror shooter with roguelike elements. Players are thrust into a nightmarish hotel where survival is the only goal. Armed with a weapon retrieved from a lifeless body, players must navigate through 10 dynamic levels filled with relentless enemies and a constantly shifting environment. The game blends fast-paced action with dark humor, creating an exhilarating experience. The building itself becomes a formidable enemy as it evolves and shifts, adding to the intensity of the escape. Players must run, fight, and adapt to survive in Cruel's relentless world. Gathering cans scattered throughout the levels restores health and earns currency for powerful upgrades. Guns of Fury is a retro-inspired action platformer that combines the run-and-gun and Metroidvania genres. Players assume the role of Vincent Fury, a special operative on a mission to infiltrate the top-secret research facility of Easton Industries, rescue Dr. Klaus, and recover the missing Tetra cell before it's too late. The game features a vast, interconnected world where players can explore new areas using newly acquired skills and equipment. The gameplay is exhilarating, with a variety of weapons, melee attacks, and bombs to discover and use against enemies. Players will face a private army of enemies, including fearsome bosses, as they advance through the game. Iron Meat is a fast-paced, run-and-gun arcade shooter set in an apocalyptic future overrun by the meat. Players take on the role of Vadim, a soldier fighting against mutated victims and machines to stop the horrors spawned from secret experiments on the moon. The game features retro-inspired stages and intense multi-phase boss fights, with 3 difficulty settings to challenge players' skills. The gameplay is characterized by its classic arcade and console mechanics, requiring players to dodge bullet barrages and crush enemies in 9 levels of gorific brutality. The gameplay of Iron Meat also includes a 2-player couch co-op mode, allowing players to team up and take on the meat invasion together. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is a comedic action-adventure game with roguelite elements. In this game, Turnip Boy teams up with the fearsome Pickled Gang to plan and execute the weirdest heist of all time. Players will shake down hostages, steal precious valuables, and explore the deep, dark depths and history of the Botanical Bank. To pull off the perfect heist, players need to purchase an array of dangerous and wacky tools from the dark web. The gameplay of Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is characterized by its intense shootouts with security guards, the police, and elite SWAT teams. Players must navigate through a big ol' bank, taking on whoever the bank throws at them in intense battles. Mirage Feathers is an anime-themed pseudo 3D rail shooter where players take on the role of Notari, a cybernetic air superiority fighter of the Federation's Feather program. The game features fast-paced combat as players destroy wave after wave of enemy aircraft. Notari's advanced fire control system automatically locks onto targets when they pass the crosshair, making for intense and engaging gameplay. As the story progresses, Notari's AI companion Luciala acquires weapon specs from stronger opponents, providing players with additional main weapon options and varied playstyles. Cuphead is a classic run-and-gun action game that heavily focused on boss battles and is inspired by cartoons of the 1930s, featuring hand-drawn cell animation, watercolor backgrounds, and original jazz recordings. Players control Cuphead and his brother Mugman as they traverse strange worlds, acquire new weapons, learn powerful super moves, and discover hidden secrets while trying to pay their debt back to the devil. The gameplay of Cuphead is characterized by its challenging difficulty and unique art style. Players must master precise jumping, shooting, and dodging to defeat a variety of bosses and enemies. The game also includes run-and-gun levels that provide a break from the intense boss battles. So that is the video. Which game is your favorite or catches your eye? Please let me know in the comment. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.